Dave, you've never sounded better in one of our meetings. You are clear.
Well,
it's like you're in a
there's something
sound
going
studio.
on with my other computer that I don't know what it is.
By the way, it's nice to see Phyllis back. Been a long time.
Thank you, Chester.
Well, everyone except Chester has needed my permission to get into this meeting. So I don't know why it's working for Chester and nobody else. But
Chester's always special.
I think the way I read this is you should be able to authorize other people to come into the meeting too. And you should be able to share this with other people so that they can get into the meeting. All right. Bill, you got the coffee grinder going again.
That?
I just muted you. Hey, Linda just got in too. Linda got in without me having to authorize her. So Chester and Linda are the only ones that have gotten in without being authorized.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Linda.
Buenos
Good
dias.
morning. How are you?
Good.
Oh, hey, I'm just FYI, I just hit the streaming button on YouTube. It's a little early, but I didn't want to have to worry about it.
Scott, FYI again,
Yes.
I accidentally left the meeting. And this time when I went to join, you didn't have to give me permission, that just let me in.
You know,
Yeah.
that's another thing I've noticed with the meeting is that if you've been authorized before, then you can get rejoined without a problem. Hey, look, Maggie just got in without authorization. She's a hacker.
You're muted.
This is great. This is
I'm a hacker. I finally learned something.
this is a great group. This is a lot of people. It's good to see you all. A lot of
Picture.
Hey, Paul got in without authorization as well, I think.
Oh, okay. No.
I don't know if he gets the camera, but I don't see him.
Are you looking for me?
I don't see him.
Paul is in the middle on the right-hand side on my camera.
Here, I keep doing this. I'm gonna rebroadcast myself, and it shows a mosaic of all you guys, and Paul's. Yeah, Paul's in there. If you're looking for a particular person, you could always click up at the top here where it shows the members. It shows 11 up there. And then it has this sidebar that lists everybody.
Yeah, but I only see myself.
No. Did you hit the sidebar?
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Everybody.
Shows all 11, but you're on the top. Scroll.
On the sidebar. I know, but my picture only shows myself on the computer screen.
That's because you pinned yourself.
Maybe you pinned yourself.
Pinned yourself.
Yes. You're having an...
Often when you're sewing accidentally. Ouch. Oh.
Sewing. You know? Change layout. No? I got everybody now.
All right. Well, for the meeting, in just a couple more minutes, we'll go ahead and formally start. But go ahead and just pin my image so that and what I'll do is, as you guys talk, I'll bring you forward. If you're looking at me like right now, what I'll attempt to do is I'll bring like Linda forward when she's talking.
Well, isn't that a treat?
It's fun to have so many smiling faces. I hope everybody's safe and happy and healthy where they are.
Yeah.
Maggie, where are you right now? Are you in San Carlos right now?
I'm in San Carlos.
Oh, great. Are you here for the duration, or will you be heading back?
Well, our plan is to go up and do our doctor thing the middle of August, but if coronavirus is still bad in Arizona, we'll just stay here.
Oh my gosh, Arizona is really, I mean, it's funny to listen to the president concerned about closing the borders and keeping the Latinos out because Arizona has more cases than all of Mexico.
Yeah, it's bad.
I watched the news report from the border from the Arizona side of Nogales, and they have ramped up testing. And in the news report, they said that they had 55% positive.
In Arizona?
In Nogales, Arizona.
Oh, oh my God.
That it is so far above, like you do more testing, like the president's gone through this a lot. You do more testing, you're going to have more cases. But
Sure.
the number of cases is so extreme compared to what would be expected that it's just gone well beyond the number that would be. I mean, the expected rate would be something like 30%.
So how many of those 50, whatever it was, percent are asymptomatic or not as sick as some other people seem to get?
I suspect it's really high. You know, they talked about for a long time 80 to 20%, like the 20% of really bad cases, 80%. Well, the 80% are really the people that don't end up in the hospital, and their symptoms go back and forth between being not quite severe enough to go to the hospital to not having any symptoms at all.
Yeah.
I am really choppy. I don't know why. I don't know how to fix it.
Hey, is it raining in San Carlos?
No.
No.
Okay.
Who
Not-
said yes? Well, the humidity rains upon us, but that's about it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's wet in San Carlos. It's just not raindrops.
Right.
okay. Well, we got some rain in Tucson. Now it's cloudy again.
Hey guys, we've got a good group. I'm going to go ahead and just do our formal introduction. I am Scott Stimson from International Computer Solutions, and this is the San Carlos Computer Club. We meet every Saturday at 9 a.m. to talk about the tech topics of the day and try and help each other out with tech problems, do our own troubleshooting, and share news and all that. Try and solve the world's problems here. The meeting of the minds. I call us the elder nerds. And in typical fashion, I have showed up unorganized and unprepared. I do have a few topics that I thought were interesting, but the truth is I have not reviewed them, so I'm not even sure what I've got on my list right now. And I'm noticing I'm looking at the wrong... Where did that even come from? I'm looking at the wrong web page. There we go. This is what I'm looking for. Before we get into anything that I'm doing, does anybody have any topics they'd like to bring up?
Scott, I put 2 on the webpage.
Yeah, I saw that you were interested in more iPhone stuff. In fact, let me get it in front of me. As well as iCloud stuff.
We're trying to, storage stuff and trying to find out the differences and the pros and cons of either Google or iCloud. We've been attempting to do the family iCloud thing, but we have one, what do you call it? Apple service account that doesn't want to join us for some reason.
Oh, really? What's that about?
I don't know.
Do you get any kind of like error message that you can follow through with?
No, it tells us that it'll send a verification code and then nothing comes through, and we've verified that the password's correct and the iCloud.com address. No, it's the Gmail one that was set up with a Gmail account. It doesn't want to talk to it.
It doesn't want to talk to it.
No.
And you've double checked that the email, because you've got an Apple ID and then you've got email, and you would want to make sure that you're trying to access it from the correct thing. If your regular email isn't the username you use for your Apple ID. If you follow what I mean, like a lot of us use our standard email for our Apple ID, but it's very possible to have an Apple ID that just points to any kind of email address. In your
Right.
in your experience, how many Apple IDs are involved?
4.
4. And I mean, just so there's Bill, there's you. Who else is in your list?
There's Bill at Gmail and
Okay.
Bill at iCloud. There's Cheryl at Gmail and Cheryl at iCloud.
And which one's not working?
The Cheryl at iCloud. Cheryl at Gmail.
Cheryl at Gmail. The Cheryl at iCloud, is that actually a different Apple address, or is that just is that associated with your original Apple ID? Because those
The original Apple ID was on an iPad device with the Gmail email. The
Okay.
second one was when I bought the iPhone, I used an iCloud address for that Apple ID.
So you're certain those two aren't related? Those are two separate Apple accounts.
They have 2 different amounts of storage. They have 2 different things in iCloud storage.
Okay, well you would have signed up for it with an email address. When you bought the new device and you signed up for it and you ended up with the iCloud address, you would have signed up with an email address other than
No.
iCloud.
No, I was standing in the in the AT&T office
Mm-hmm.
where I bought the iPhone, and they set up my AT&T account with an iCloud.
Oh,
Do you have
They
an,
created
do you have
account.
an AT&T email?
No,
No?
the AT&T plan was set up with the iCloud address that we set up on this device.
Okay. Well, are you getting email to that iCloud address? Do you check that iCloud address for email?
Well, I can't find it.
I think that's what's going to end up happening is that you're literally looking for an email that goes to iCloud.com.
Oh,
If you've got the password, I believe we can. I'm just going to double check here. iCloud. You can go to iCloud.com and you can sign in with your Apple address, and I'm just speculating right now because I never use this stuff. Let me see. Can I even remember my iCloud account?
oh, so I go to iCloud.com in a browser.
I'm not saying that's the right way to do it. I'm just trying to figure out how you can check your iCloud email without having it set up. So I'm hoping I can go in here. Hold on a second. You guys don't have to see my password. If I can remember it.
I feel like I've interrupted your flow. I'm sorry.
No,
But
that's
you were talking about topics today, and this one can come later.
okay. So you can iCloud email needed to use iCloud mail. Here, let me get over here again. So I've signed into iCloud. To use iCloud Mail, create a new email address by turning on Mail in your iCloud settings. Use iOS or Mac OS. So I think what I would do is I would configure that iCloud address
yeah.
in your Mac OS Mail program, because it doesn't look like I can check Mail here. But you should be able to, you should have a password for that account. I mean, you can't use the account if you don't have the password.
Right.
It's Cheryl whatever at iCloud.com. So you would sign into that on your Macintosh Mail, and you'd be able to receive emails there. And maybe that's the trick. Maybe you're looking for an email invite to that address.
But I have that mail icon set up to get my Gmail.
Right, but you also need to be able to receive the iCloud mail.
So how do I set it up on the same thing? Like,
When you go in, you're just setting. You're adding a new account. I wish I could display an iPhone right now, but I can't. But you would go into your email program and you would add an email address.
oh, wait a minute. I think I found it. I don't know if you can see that. Down the very bottom, it says new mailbox.
There you go.
That'll be it.
That's probably it. I think that may end up being the secret, is that you're looking for an email that's coming to you because you're sharing this space like a family plan, and I bet that email will have something in it to get you authorized.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure why you'd have to authorize, but maybe there is some risk at having been part of a family group on iCloud.
Well, once you become part of the family group, you have to agree to any charges. Like the master has to accept you, and you have to agree that you will not charge anything to it or something. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So.
Yeah, I honestly, you guys are just like this far away from having much more experience with this than I do, because I haven't done this before. We don't have a Mac infrastructure in our house. We don't do that. We're not sharing accounts.
So what do you use for storage? You're going to tell me you have hard drives and things like that, but
yeah, I have hard drives. I use, but more and more I'm using OneDrive, and I'm using the Google Drive for stuff. Like I use Google for, and we've talked about this before, for my photos. I install Google Photos on my mobile devices, and then all the pictures I take are backed up into Google Photos. I'm not a professional photographer, so I'm not worried about having the actual raw quality. And so I set Google Photos to unlimited uploads, and they downgrade the quality of the photo. But that's
without
fine.
paying extra.
Say that again?
Without buying like a subscription to more Google Drive space.
That's correct.
Oh.
That's correct. If you
programs.
I don't know if you can actually see it from photos on a web page, but photos.google.com. This is where your photos will end up in the cloud. And I've got 15 gigabytes of space on the San Carlos Computer Club account I use, and I'm using 73 megabytes at the moment. I don't have a lot of photos in here.
Yeah, well, I've used 15 gigabytes on my account. So.
Well, and so all the photos, in fact, let me I'm going to bring up my personal photos. Probably going to regret that. Come on. Give me a new tab. And you do have to set it up in your mobile device to do this. You have to go into your account on your mobile device and say, I want to do this. And I know that every photo, I have well over 15 gigabytes of photos in here. But because all of them have been, they're all under the stipulation of the lower quality. Hey, there we are at the swimming pool yesterday. Because they're all at this lower quality, it's unlimited. Abby's birthday. This storage over here, it's showing me how much storage I have in the cloud in case I want to store full quality photos. Those will increment the amount of space that I have left. But because I'm doing the unlimited lower quality, it doesn't affect this storage amount. This 4 gigs that I have used is actually used by Google Docs. we would find those in the Google Apps. We would find those in spreadsheets and in documents and in things that I've stuck in the Google Drive. Docs, spreadsheets, slideshows, things like that would be taking up that space. I've actually gotten away quite well with just the free services. I think OneDrive gives you, last time I checked, I think it was 15 gigabytes. iCloud gives you 5 gigabytes, and Google gives you 15 gigabytes. And with the free unlimited on Google, I've got my photos covered. Well, everything else is very small, so that's a lot of space.
Let me relate a serious mistake I have made through the years on photos.
Sure,
if I may.
Chester.
I spent untold days digitizing slide, 35 millimeter slides from a lifetime of photography, of family, etc. And so digitizing those into the computer took, a lot of space. And so this was long before we had storage in the cloud or even terabytes. And I downgraded all of those photos, and I have regretted it ever since.
Did you downgrade them yourself, or did you let an automator do it?
No, I did it, and I did it with batches in Photoshop.
Okay. So first of all, that's a real headache. So that leaves some pain, especially you get lower quality photos and you had to do all that work for it.
Yeah.
And with the Google Photos app on your cell phone, it just does it automatically. So that takes half that pain away.
But I don't have Google, I have Android.
Well,
I'm sorry. I don't have Apple, I have Android.
Right. And so on Apple or on Android, on either, you can download the Google Photos app and you can set it to copy all your photos over to the cloud at this lower quality. Now, I recommend you do this no matter who you are, if you're taking photos with a cell phone, because at the very least, every photo you've taken has a backup in the cloud. So your phone can get stolen or broken or dropped in the water, and you know that at the very least you have that record. You haven't lost everything. Now, personally, me, I regularly take my phone and I plug it in physically to a computer. I've got a Macintosh computer and a Windows 10 computer, and I actually make sure that like maybe once a month or once every 2 months, I plug it in, I download all the photos in its original quality into my hard drive. So I have original quality photos because that's what I would rather work with anytime. But I constantly let Google Photos grab copies and put it up in the cloud at a slightly lower quality, and that quality is very impressive. I just had it on the screen. In fact, I'll bring it up one more time, because any of the photos in Google Photos, and I do this all the time, I'm in a hurry and I don't want to, or I'm not on that Macintosh, or I'm not on my Windows computer, but I've got a browser in front of me and I need one of my photos. And so I go to photos.google.com, sign in, and I have access to that list. And they are fine quality photos for anything I might be doing. And what might not be a good quality photo, I mean, maybe I would want the original if I was going to do some Photoshop stuff like cutting people out and putting backgrounds. Maybe if I was going to put together that kind of montage of, some multi-layered photo, maybe I'd want to start with the original. But if I wanted to send pictures off to my sister, here we are in the pool, I would happily get them out of Google Photos. They'd be perfect quality for that. The quality that they say you have to downgrade to is still a bigger quality than I can put full screen on my computer. If in fact I can take this photo we're looking at of my family and I, or any of these photos, and I should be able to download it. Where's the download button? Come on. Download.
Great picture.
Thank you. So I just downloaded it. If you can see my web browser, it downloaded down. It's Chrome. Put it down here. I'm going to open it up. This is Windows Photos, opening it up just so that we can look at it. And here's the photo. And let me see if I can get some information about it. I think I should be able to see. Here we go. What I wanted to show was the resolution. So the resolution of what has been saved is 3264 by 2448. That's free. That was
That's awesome.
yeah. I mean, like, I couldn't. That, I mean, at an H, that's higher than HD TV. That's almost 4K, and that was stored for free. And it is slightly. My phone, I think, has a 12 megapixel sensor on it, so it's slightly smaller than the original. But I couldn't get. I mean, that 12 megapixel picture can't be any better quality than this is, because it's coming off of my cell phone. You can capture as much detail as you want, but if the detail's crappy, you're just going to have really well-defined crappy detail. So I recommend Google Photos for anyone that's taking cell phone photos, just for the security of knowing all your photos are being backed up, and you don't have to worry about a subscription fee associated to it.
Just an interjection, do you guys know about Pix Resizer?
No, I haven't heard of it. What is it?
Okay, it resizes your pictures. So if you say you need to send something to somebody, it'll resize it down, and I'll tell you it's PIX RESIZER. And it's really simple to use. The page comes up, you download the picture into that, and you can pick all the sizes that you want.
Is it an app or a website?
It's a website.
Pixresizer.com?
Pixresizer.com. And this is the website that Viva San Carlos recommends to download and make your picture smaller, also to get on San Carlos. If you want to advertise something.
Hold on a second, Linda. I don't know if you're looking at my screen, but I'm trying to bring this up right now. Oh, I got picresize.com. Is that right?
I'm bringing it up. Hold on. I'll bring it up right now.
I think there was an R on the end, Pick Resizer.
No, I couldn't find anything with an R.
It's PIX.
PIX?
Yeah.
PIX.
Resizer.
Resizer.
Yeah, it's perfect. You load the picture
got
and
it.
it shows you.
Oh, wait, no, I don't. It's not there. I can buy this domain.
Okay, hold on. I'll look it up in Google.
Pick Resizer.
I did find Pick Resize. Looks like the same concept. Drop a picture here and change the size of it. Lots of ads, though.
Yeah.
But
How about a quick off the wall question? How do you highlight the screen you want to see? full size.
The screen you want to see, you're talking about in our meet?
In the meet, right.
So are
Okay.
you looking at the mosaic right now, Dave, that I'm broadcasting?
Right. So I see 9 screens.
Okay. And you see me in the upper right-hand corner, I think?
No, Cheryl's in the left and right.
No,
Okay.
no,
In my case, lower middle.
Okay. Here, let me, if I'm talking, you're probably seeing me, right? Well,
No.
hover over the screen you want to bring forward, and attack will appear to the left. There'll be 3 icons that come up. There's attack, there's a mute, and there's a remove from meeting. And if you click the pin to screen, I'm pinning Fred right now. They come, then you're looking at that one view.
Okay, I gotta get rid of that. Now I see where it is, at least. Now
Yeah.
I just have to make it works with yours, because you're on the bottom and something else is hiding it.
Yeah. The other thing that's a little frustrating in these meets is as you hover over the meet, that bar at the bottom appears.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Today it was making me crazy. I couldn't get the bar to disappear.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. Get it to disappear.
I only finally got it to disappear by leaving the meeting, refreshing the browser, and joining the meeting again. It was some glitch in the, I don't know, JavaScript.
Oh, well, if you have your mouse anywhere on the screen, the bar is up. If
Right.
you move the mouse down below, the bar is gone.
If you move the mouse off the screen, you mean? Off the
Yeah.
meet. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to work. That's not how it was working this morning.
Oh,
Yeah, this morning that bar was just stuck, and I could not get it to disappear. I would hover over the screen, and then I would leave it. I'd click on the screen. I'd click away from the screen. It just would persist. And the only fix I found was to leave the meeting. Wait, Linda, that can't be right.
Yeah, you have to either download it off of CNET,
Oh, okay, so it is an app. It's an app that you're talking about.
major. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Pick resizer. So do you think we're going to find that in an app store? Pick resizer.
No. No.
Because the link that you just passed to us is from a file sharing site.
You download it through Softonic or Major Geeks.
Major Geeks would be I mean, if I was going to download something from anything other than a manufacturer's site, I would pick Major Geeks first because they're really well vetted.
You can also download it off of CNET.
mine says not for your iOS. So
Okay, well, see if you can download it off of CNET.
CNET would be another one. You do have to be careful with CNET because they've got some download software that they want you to download. I mean, they've got their own tracking software. The software that they hold for downloading in CNET is legitimate software, but the way they want you to download is tracking for advertising. And you can download it without their software, but you have to be very aware of what's going on. I'm just checking real quick to see if it exists in the Windows Store.
Okay, listen, it says pick resizer for Mac. Download free alternatives.
Hey, you know, that in itself is a great topic, is alternatives.
Let me interject. There's a simple, I'm so old school, I'm still using Picasa. And Picasa does a wonderful resizing.
Yeah, but they don't support Picasa at all anymore.
You can still get it.
You can't get it on your Macintosh. And
Right.
and if you've updated your Macintosh to not Catalina. Catalina's the newest one. If you update it to Catalina, then it's unavailable. You can't run the old software. You can run the old Picasa software on a Macintosh all the way up until the latest release.
Yeah. Still working on Windows 10. But
Okay, Cheryl. You can go to resize, rotate, or flip an image in preview on Mac. In preview app on your Mac, open the file you want to change. Choose tools, adjust the size, and then select resample image.
But
Preview on Macintosh is crazy how powerful it is. You can do things with preview like say you create a PDF. Maybe it's got some sensitive information in it, like your tax information or a trust or a will. You can open that PDF in preview and give it a password and resave it from preview. You, like Linda's mentioning, preview on the Macintosh, you can use it to do basic picture editing. It's this Swiss Army knife tool that Apple provides.
yeah, but where do you get the preview? Like when you go to open something?
In your Macintosh, preview exists as an application. So
Probably not on my iOS.
no, it's not on your phone. It would be on your computer.
No, sorry, I don't have a Mac computer. I have an iPad and an iPhone, and my iPad is so old I can only bring up to 10 point something on the iOS.
Oh, okay. Well,
So.
on the Windows computer, then you'd have to find some other solution for.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys have used it, but I use often Microsoft Photo. We just had it up there. This photo app keeps getting better and better. Let me bring this up. This is provided for Windows users. And it's got basic editing. Let me bring up one of my photos. But if you were going to do real photo editing, why are you taking so long to come up? There we go. I think I need a new computer. What I need is I need a computer that's doing this meeting with you, and then the other computer's doing this, and I'm just feeding this into the meeting instead of trying to run it all on the same computer. So what you're looking at, if you're looking at my screen right now, is the Windows Photo program, and this is the edit button up here, and it's got a lot of the very basic stuff in this is Windows 10. And you've got things like being able to crop. You see how I can change this crop size down, and then I can actually grab the photo and put it in the crop frame. I can rotate it. It's got a rotate button. I can change the aspect ratio. You see how that crop turned into like a 10 by 9 or a 16 by 19, I think is what it can. So I set it on a ratio. Here's 4 by 3. It keeps that ratio. So that's crop and rotate. That's a basic thing. Filters.
I'm not seeing you, Scott.
You're not seeing me, Fred?
Not at all.
Well, you're seeing
Chester's parody hasn't moved.
Oh, you're looking at Chester? Maybe you've inadvertently
Well,
pinned Chester. But let me turn on presentation mode. I'll turn on, and that way it'll just force people to see me. My entire screen. It'll take just a second. Here we go. We want screen 2. All right. From our experience, it'll probably be a clearer presentation too. Can you see this now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is just an example picture. I'm clicking on edit. And what I was showing was there's crop and rotate up here at the top, filters, and adjustments. And this crop and rotate stuff is really simple stuff. It's very intuitive. You see how I just changed the size of that? I'm maintaining the original aspect ratio. I could change it to custom. Custom would let me go lengthways or widthways. Right? So I could crop a long picture if I wanted to. Or if I was concerned, like in the computer club, I'm always working with a photo. I want to put a photo on YouTube about this week's meeting, but I wanted to have the ratio of a video. I wanted to have it 1280 by 720. And so this is an aspect ratio. I can set a widescreen aspect ratio from these options. That's what I'm on right now, is widescreen. And now I'm doing a widescreen crop. I know that whatever I decide to grab will maintain that video ratio. There's also standard ratios you've seen before, like 3:2, 4:3. These are all ratios that we've used at some point in history. Square, if you're on Instagram. Instagram does things in squares. And you'll notice while I'm doing this, that size I'm setting for crop, but I can just grab the photo, click and drag, and I can drag to what I think's important to put in that square. You see how I'm doing that? I just click and drag through it. And all this is just free in Windows. These are good tools, and they become really reliable. We can take it farther. We got filters. Let me grab a different picture. I'm tired of looking at Jean-Luc Picard. I just exited that picture without saving any changes. I'm going back to the... Here we go. A great representation of Copaya's good work in their ranchitos. I have a garden growing at the corner of my street. And this is our local cow getting lunch, because he knows where to go. So I'm zooming in right now just for posterity. I'm not making any changes yet. I'm going to go over here
whatever you did with your screen is a major improvement.
Oh, good.
And everybody else's profile is much smaller, but you can still see everyone. But your what I see from your screen is so much better than what I had before.
Well, remind me when we're doing this stuff, because I'll put it in the presentation mode, and you'll get this kind of quality.
Well, this is much better. But
good.
What program are you in right here?
So this is Windows Photo.
A Windows Photo.
Yeah, it comes with Windows. And so right now I'm doing a crop. I'm doing a custom crop. I'm bringing Mr. Cow in. There he is eating lunch. But you can see how I can maintain like that crop size. Let's do widescreen. And then I can move the picture around. I'm kind of moving it behind the crop. I'm grabbing it and dragging it. You see that? When I'm maintaining the aspect ratio, I can grab a corner and it will, that ratio is fixed. I mean, I'm sure you guys have done some of this kind of stuff before, but this isn't Photoshop. This is just Windows Photos. Let's, over here at filters, they've got all these things that are preloaded. Denim, Mercury, Napa, I don't know where they get these names. Arctic, Icarus, I guess he's flaming. Rogue, Sauna, look, the cow is sweating. There's a filter intensity here. Like I cranked it up 100 versus 5. If you're just looking for like interesting things to do with a photo, these are all predetermined. Let me cancel it. I'm going to hit this cancel button. I'm going to lose all my changes. Let me go back. That wasn't the most elegant way to cancel those changes. What I wanted to do is I wanted to go back to before I adjusted everything. And I think all I would have to do is leave filters. Let me double check this is the case. I always learn this stuff while I'm doing it. So I'm going to change the filter intensity. And I'm just going to leave. No. Oh, undo all. That's what I'm looking at. It's right there on the screen. Right here it says undo all. I can click undo all my edits and I'm back at my original picture. And what I wanted
Hey,
to... Oh, go ahead,
if
Lynn.
you just go to Windows, it's under Photos, not Windows Photos.
That's right. It's called Photos under Windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Microsoft Photos, but it's called Photos.
Okay.
And you'll see here, we're still in filters. At the very top, there's Enhance Your Photo. This is a one-click magic button. You just click the button, and can you tell the difference there? Everything became sharper and clearer. They used an algorithm and looked at the color and made all the changes that you'd typically make manually. And they're saying, is that... So here's the original. You see it's got kind of a fuzzy haze. And if I hit this Enhance Your Photos, it's a button. I just hit it. You see there's a white line in the middle of the button kind of indicating where we're at with the Enhance Your Photo automatically. I think I can actually hit it again. You see how I'm going into this enhancement? The lines move to the right. I hit it again. It's gone to the left. It's given me... You see that? I can grab the bar. A percentage of Enhance Your Photo. It's just a magic button. How much magic button do you want to add to it? I hope people are getting that. And then there's the really standard adjustments that you might make in a Photoshop program. If you go over here to Adjustments, you can do things like add, saturate more color. Here I'm going all the way to black and white. Or go to deep saturation of colors. And it's just this quick little bar here. Light, go all the way to the dark, lighten it up. They've got two more here called Clarity and Vignette. Since I love this cow so much, let's make him the center of my project. I'm just cropping it down, focusing, and we'll make him a little less clear.
Actually, you don't want him in the center, but you want to follow the rule of thirds.
Oh, yeah? What is the rule of thirds, Chester?
Oh my goodness.
The rule of thirds is your focus needs to be in a third, not in the center. Just the way the brain works. Yeah, that would be a third.
Oh, yeah.
You see the grid lines there?
Yeah.
You always put your focus on where those two grid meets. So upper third, bottom third, right third, left third. Put your focus on one of those crosshairs.
But this is
so
impressive program.
It would be on the crosshair. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Ah, I got you. Okay. So it'd be something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chester, I thought you would appreciate this. These are like really fast, easy editing.
So what program is
It's a
this?
good program.
Hey, Judy, you got in without me letting you in, didn't you?
Ah, that's just because I'm supposed to be here.
That's right.
What program are you talking about?
You and Chester both.
So what we're looking at is Windows Photo or Microsoft Photo.
Uh-huh.
You would, in a Windows computer, you'd look for photos and you would find this application.
I have about the same thing in my Mac.
That's right. And if you're on a mobile device, you could use Google Photos to do this.
Okay.
Of course, everything would be laid out differently. And they'd have different names for the different functions, because that's how we roll. So what this doesn't have is the ability to downscale the quality easily. It does have a share option, though, up here in the corner. So if I wanted to share this picture, I could hit this share button. And in Windows, it would give me all these different directions that I could share this photo. Contacts. I have no apps I can share it with, so nothing I'm showing you is helpful. None of it's helpful. What I typically do if I need a photo from here is I just grab it and drop it on the desktop and then drop it in an email. Because I can just pull it out of here. Oh, I'm sorry. There it is right there. It gives me a copy. And I can drop it. And that hasn't moved the photo. It's just put a copy of it on my desktop that I can use. Can I answer any questions? I'm kind of, we do this stuff so impromptu. I have nothing prepared, so there's nowhere for me to go from this. Is there any questions I can answer for people?
I guess I'm looking for a recommendation. Our iPhone, we've turned off all updates, so we manually do them. They don't automatically come. But I keep getting this pop-up that says update carrier settings. And it's my choice whether I ignore it or if I do it. Advice?
Yeah, I can tell you what that is. And you can decide whether it matters to you or not. And you definitely, if you can't use your device on that carrier, that's the reason. If there's something that's not working, like you're not able to make phone calls, you're not able to bring up web pages, it's because you haven't accepted that. What that is, a carrier puts out information that's different from what's in your phone from the last carrier you're on. And it'll include things like the DNS server that you're supposed to be using, or how you're supposed to be connecting to your cell network. And so that's why it sends it down to you. It's like these are all the characteristics of you being on that particular cell network.
Okay, so is cell network the same as carrier?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'm thinking that my service provider being AT&T was my carrier. So I was wrong.
No, you're right. We're talking about the same thing.
No, because when I'm roaming, I'm sometimes on Rogers network. I'm sometimes on TELUS network.
Yes, that's right. So you're switching carriers on roam. And those carriers have their own settings for when you're on their network. And that's what you're getting, is you're getting a message because you switched networks. It's saying these are the settings for your device for this network.
So every time, because my network changes depending on whether I'm 2 miles down the road or I'm here. So
you're getting this. Yeah, I would imagine in Canada, if you were to accept that message, you probably would not see the message again cross the carriers in Canada. But if you were to go to the United States and get on AT&T, you'd get that message again. And if you cross the border into Mexico, you get that message again as you hit the AT&T network, or if you're on the Telcel network, you get that message again. But
in this situation, the word carrier means the network that I am connected to, not who I pay my money to.
I don't think that's right. I think the carrier is AT&T.
Yes.
And I think what they're asking you to update.
Yes. Judy, you're right. And maybe I'm not.
Because I get that message, or I got that message.
Yeah. But
and I have AT&T.
If you move to another network, do you get that message?
I do not, because I have unlimited. I don't really have roaming.
Yeah, that's the same with me. But if I have to turn roaming on, I don't pay anything for the roaming, but when it's turned on, it latches on to different networks.
Yeah.
So, Judy, did you Did you accept the update?
Yes.
Okay. No fear in accepting the update.
Well, I
No.
don't know, no fear, but I did it.
No, it won't cause you problems, and it will fix problems you're having because it's completely related to the network you're connected to.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, Chester.
Some years ago, I foolishly subscribed to Glary Pro.
Oh, geez.
Oh, you bought it.
Yes.
Okay.
And then after some period of time, I discontinued paying for it because I didn't want it anymore.
I didn't even realize they had a subscription model. I thought it was a flat fee.
Well, anyway, it keeps popping up every time I turn on my computer. They want me to upgrade. And how can I get rid of that pop-up ad?
The pop-up ad you're not going to be able to get rid of, but you could just uninstall Glary Utilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then reinstall it. Huh?
I would reinstall it as the free version.
Yeah.
And then when you run it, you'll get the pop-up ad.
That's okay if I decide to run it, but I'm getting the pop-up ad every time I turn the computer on.
These utilities like Glary's, or what's one of the other ones?
Malwarebytes?
Yeah, Malwarebytes. CCleaner's another one. I only mention a half a dozen like that because they change so periodically, so frequently, that there's a good chance that the next time you're going to run it, you're going to have to update it anyway. And so all buying the service is doing is leaving it in the background so it's checking all the time and keeping itself up to date. In my experience, I've been able to easily use a tool like that when I need to use it and then just turn it off, and I know I'm going to be downloading a new version the next time I need the tool again. I'll use it to do maintenance on a computer. I clean out temporary files or look for problems with the registry. And then after I've done that job, I might just uninstall the software because I don't need it anymore. And the next time that I feel like I need it, I know I'm going to need a new version anyway, so I go and download it. If that's helpful. Hey, Pop. Oh, he's running off. Dad just joined us. Hey, Pop, how are you doing this morning? Oh, you're on mute, so I can't really hear your answer. But Dad's up and running. He had back surgery.
Oh, wow.
And so he's moving a lot faster than I was expecting to see him moving. Hi, Mom.
There's Mom there as well.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I turned the camera off because we've just woken up. But I have a huge computer issue. I was watching you on my computer, and then all of a sudden everything froze up, and now it's all black and clicking. It's making a ticking sound, and no matter what I do, I can't get it to shut off.
This is your Macintosh, your MacBook Pro.
Yes, my right arm.
Can you hold the power button down? Just hold it until it looks like it's just stopped working.
I have been doing that. Can you hear the clicking by any chance?
Bring the phone or whatever you're using as close as you can to the computer. No, I don't hear any clicking.
It's clicking.
Are you sure the clicking's coming from the computer?
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't hear anything.
Definitely. Well, let's see. One more. Where does the sound go in on here?
I can hear you just fine. No, I don't hear any clicking.
Well, I'm telling you, it's clicking. And it's been off for about 4 or 5 minutes now. where I can't get anything out of it. I have unplugged it.
Are you
The
able
lights,
to?
the
Are,
lights on the keyboard are on. I can see those lights, you know, under so I can type something in, but the screen is totally black.
well, that doesn't sound good. Are you able to remove
Oh
the
no. Do it again, Scott.
Are you able to remove the battery from that computer? I can't remember.
Well, somebody who has the right kind of screws probably could. Well, I
Okay.
don't know. You have to take the whole back off.
You'd have to take the whole back off. That's what
Or
I
the
would
bottom,
be
I
concerned about.
guess, the bottom.
Yeah. That's I think you're gonna have to find a computer person, Mom. I don't. It sounds
Locally,
like,
you mean?
yeah, it sounds like you're having a hardware problem. You need somebody that's comfortable getting into it and finding out what's, at the very least, disconnect the battery, and because that none of that is any kind of standard behavior. The clicking, the keyboard being lit up, the screen being black. And if you can hold the power button down and you're not getting the keyboard to turn off, well, that's pretty serious. It's you. That's
Well, you just made my day.
that's you should be able to. Well, you know, at the very least, you've got it unplugged. You might let it sit and let the battery drain. That would definitely shut off the computer.
That's right now is the only thing I can see that we can do.
Your computer is old. Would turn off. The whole thing would just stop.
All right. Well, you go on with your meeting, and I'm holding, and then be ready to talk to me afterwards.
All right. We'll do some computer consulting right afterwards. Yeah, that doesn't sound good though. I'm not sure what's going on at the moment, but it doesn't sound good.
Those of you who have MacBook Pros might want to know that there could come a clicking time.
I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, I'm not real happy either.
Yeah, Bill.
Hopefully it's not the hard drive. Is that Apple's equivalent to the blue screen of death?
Apparently.
Stop it. Stop it. It's going to be fixed. I cannot lose this computer. It's the last one made with a 17-inch screen, I think. Portable.
This is true. If you want to get that largest screen on a Macintosh, you have to buy an iMac now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll talk after the meeting and see if we'll at least put together a plan.
All right.
Okay.
All right, keep going because I want to listen. I recognize everything you're doing, of course.
Let's see. We were talking about photos. We were talking about resizing photos, which got us into this. Was there anything on that we would go back to, or is there any other topics we should be addressing? I've got a list of topics. I just put it on my screen here. I don't know if you can see it or not.
No.
The
one of the most present it.
Yeah, bring it forward again.
Say again?
Present.
Oh, present again. Yeah. Okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
Now, you have to bear with me because I have not reread these topics since I made them, so my mind's not fresh. But the one that's most fresh in my mind is the last one, which is an article from Tech Hive talking about how Roku is changing its role. If you are a Roku owner, you're probably familiar with how neutral they've been in streaming. But that's no longer the case anymore. If you own a Roku, you may be getting frustrated because there are apps that haven't been authorized on it yet, such as HBO Max or the new NBC Universal, the Peacock app. These things have not been anointed on Roku yet. And the reason is because Roku is in a dispute with them about how they're going to let them on their platform. Roku is trying to emphasize their streaming services. And so they want content to allow the HBO app on. They want content for their streaming channel, their ad-provided service, their free channel that they show ads to you with. And so they haven't come to an arrangement yet with HBO or with NBC that they're satisfied with. And so the Roku Stick, though it's great equipment and it's got lots of market shares, is missing these apps right now. Whereas these apps are available on Apple TV, they're available on the Amazon TV, and you can do them using Google's Android TV. And so this is
Can I make a comment?
Oh, sure. Yeah, Linda, go ahead.
Okay, well, you can't get the Peacock on the Samsung. And I have my my Dreamlink box. I can't get it on there. I downloaded it, but they won't let me play it.
They won't let you play it. Is that because you're in Mexico?
No, I'm in Green Valley.
You're in Green Valley, so they should allow you to play it. Are you?
Well, Samsung hasn't made an agreement with them yet.
Well, I'm thinking more your IPTV box is an Android TV box. It should play on that.
Nope. I downloaded it yesterday.
Okay.
And it said it won't play.
What was the error message specifically?
It says you're something about your device isn't approved or something to that effect.
Oh, wow, that's new. And I don't think that's even covered in this article. I didn't read anything about that going on. In fact, they make mention of Android TV being able to run it.
Right, but if you go to Peacock, they name who they've got, who's approved.
Wow, now so that's kind of how Netflix started its thing, was that each device had to be approved. That's no longer the case with Netflix.
There must be money involved.
There's definitely money involved. Now, the difference with Google and with Apple is that they just want content on their services. And so, like, Apple has got these apps already. In fact, they've got them beautifully in the Apple TV so that when you search Siri, it will bring up content from these apps. And when you use the Apple TV, promotions for content will pop up on the screen. You don't have to dig deep. I'm using all these hand gestures that you guys can't see because I'm still in presentation mode. But you don't have to dig deep inside one of those apps to find content. It's included in the general search of the entire device, which is the experience that Apple's trying to give you. Apple really tries.
Oh, I had him off. So.
Hey guys, I'm gonna mute you.
So Scott, I just looked and it says Vizio TVs are supported.
For the Peacock?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's great.
2015 and newer.
Wait, are we talking about Peacock? Peacock. Oh, I got you. Yeah, TVs that are 2015 or newer.
Yes.
Yeah. So really, I mean, these are all aside from this article. This article is really talking about how Roku has, until recently, been a neutral player in streaming. It's been a preferred player for many people that stream because they don't get caught up in the minutia of these deals. They just allow these apps to come on. In the past, if you wanted HBO on your Roku. You just downloaded it. HBO made it available. If you're able to use HBO, was up to your deal with HBO. Your cable provider gave you access, or you bought it outright through the internet. Had little to do with Roku. But what Roku now wants is they want, if you're signing up for HBO Max, they want you to do it through their platform, and they want a little cut of it. They also want these services to provide content for the Roku channel, the channel that Roku has to give you content for free, but you have to endure advertising. And so they're asking this of their partners if they're going to put an app on their platform. In a nutshell, they're no longer neutral. They're going in and they're having these conversations trying to generate more revenue from their partners. And they're in a good position to do it because they have such a large market share of the streaming market. They have built up. I'm still using hand gestures. It's so worthless. I'm turning off this presentation. So worthless. What am I doing? They have systematically built up a market share that is so large. Now they can ask for some demands from these service providers, whereas places like Apple, they're so concerned with the customer experience and they have such a small market share that they're just like, yeah, we want you. Bring your content. This is what you need to do. But they're not trying to get a piece of signing up for HBO or NBC. They're like, okay, just bring it on. I'm really curious about an Apple TV experience right now. One of the 4K boxes, one of the most recent devices, because it sounds like exactly what people would want right now.
I have a little issue with Roku. I purchased a Roku TV. And of course, you know, I use DirecTV. And DirecTV lists thousands of televisions, except they don't give you a code for Roku. So I'm having trouble merging my remote controls.
Oh, right. Right. In fact, yeah. I wonder if there's a universal remote control out there that controls a Roku.
Well, I'd hate to have to learn a new remote control at this age.
Yeah.
Well, pretty much everybody I know that has Roku just uses the Roku remote. They don't, because same thing on Dreamlink. You have to just use the Dreamlink remote. You'd have to put the remote onto your TV remote, not onto that universal DirecTV.
You know, that's, of course, the universal DirecTV is what I use.
Have you called DirecTV?
I'm sorry, you broke up there, Judy. What were you saying?
Ask him if he had called DirecTV. They may have a code.
DirecTV.
That's a good question. I'll do that.
I'm doing a Google search right now.
Roku.
DirecTV remote Roku code control. Oh, if you have a Roku TV, if you have one of those TCL Roku TVs, there's a DirecTV remote code for it. So going the other direction, if you're starting from a Roku TV, one of those sets that's using Roku as the smart in the TV, then there's a code for the DirecTV remote.
Right. That's what I'm looking for.
No, I think you're looking for the reverse.
You're looking for the Roku code that I can put into the DirecTV.
Yeah, and this is the opposite of that. This is a DirecTV code you can put in the Roku.
But Chester, my question to you is it a Roku brand? Like we have a TCL that is a Roku.
That's what I have, a TCL Roku.
Okay, there is a code for the TCL. So you're looking for a Roku, but you're supposed to be looking for the TCL code for your...
Well, that's not good either.
Wait.
I know. We had a real hard time with ours, but we did end up with, on our iPhones, we installed a Roku remote, and it works really, really well. It's the only thing that I can work because the Roku app or remote was this little thing that was useless, and we couldn't get our cable TV one to work with it. So I have to have two remotes going at all times.
Yeah.
Where I am.
Yeah.
And that's one of the frustrations with Roku. I'm totally don't know why we bought it. And so.
Well, I bought it because it was cheap. I mean, it was for a spare room. And gosh, it was 65-inch high definition TV for like $420, you know.
Yeah. And we thought we were buying a smart TV, but it's only smart as far as Roku. It ain't so smart.
Okay, so I did a Google search here. Let me. Can you see my screen, or do I need to turn presentation back on?
Go to presentation.
Yeah. But the first thing is a code for what you're describing. Control TCL Roku TV with DirecTV remote. And they've got the DirecTV remote style. The model is an RC65, and it says try TV code 10463.
That could do it.
That's probably what you're looking for. Control TCL Roku TV with DirecTV remote.
Thank you so much.
Saved you a phone call too.
That's awesome.
Awesome. By the way, another final question, then I'll say goodbye. But I hope you continue with this format. Of course, I can't be in San Carlos, but I certainly enjoy being a part of the club.
Oh, I'm so glad you guys are so interested in continuing to do this through our quarantine state. It doesn't feel like we're going to be meeting in person anytime soon. The way restrictions are working and the concerns, I think we've talked about it before, but it's very obvious that people are getting sick sharing air. And what that means is that for us to meet in person, we would have to be outside to eliminate the risk. And at least at the temperatures we have in San Carlos, that's not going to happen anytime soon. I have friends on Facebook that are making fun of me because they say I don't leave the house. And they think it's because I'm scared of the coronavirus, but I'm really just scared of being out in 95-degree weather. It's too hot for me to be here. I'm supposed to be in Alaska right now. If we were in temperatures like they have in Anchorage, then we could entertain the idea of an outside meeting. But I don't think we're going to be doing an inside meeting anytime soon. Not without some miracle changes in what's going on. So, Chester, to comment on your comment, I'm going to continue this as long as we can, and you're always welcome to join us. I'm happy to have you with us. And Phyllis as well, and Fred as well, and all these folks that pop in from... It's really good to see your guys' faces. It's good to touch base.
We have a question.
Yes, Linda.
Okay, did your parents feel the earthquake?
Oh, that is a good question. Are they still on?
Your mother is.
Mom? Hey, you guys got to unmute yourself now.
I know you're yelling at me to unmute. I told you we just kind of barely got up. So the fingers and the brain are just not working quite right yet. What earthquake?
The 7.4 that went across the Aleutians. Did you guys feel any of that in Anchorage?
The Prairieville one. We did. We only felt one jolt, and there was never anything coming up for Anchorage. I had to wait a while until they said Perryville had a big one.
It's hard for people to imagine. It's good to go to Google and look at Alaska compared to the continental United States, because it is so large. I mean, it's larger than like 5 European countries combined. It's very easy to have a traumatic earthquake on one side of it, and the other side has no feeling of it at all. I'm sorry, were you going to say something, Mom?
Yeah, I was going to say it's over twice the size of Texas.
That's the Alaskan joke, is that if Texas doesn't shut their mouth, we're going to split into 2 states, and they'll be the 3rd biggest state in the United States.
When we first moved up here, there were 5 time zones. 5.
5 time zones.
Hard to imagine.
That's how big it is.
Yeah, we're down to 2 now.
When I lived in Dutch Harbor in the 70s, we were almost 4 hours different than Seattle.
Yep.
So now they've changed the time zone. But Irving got off the call, but they had to evacuate out of Homer.
Oh, he's down in Homer.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, along the water they had evacuations.
Linda, we were out on ADAC. Scott was being born when you were in Dutch Harbor, Scott and his sister.
I'm old.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
That's weird for Alaskans. Growing up, I would tell people I was born on the Aleutian chain, and they would look at this white blonde guy and go, "What are you talking about?" Well, guys.
Okay. Out there was nothing. Now they have banks and a Safeway and everything else there.
In Dutch Harbor?
Out there, we used to have to take a little skiff over to Unalaska, walk down this muddy dirt road to go to this store to get our mail, and if he got anything in that we wanted to order, you had to get there within like an hour or he would sell it.
Oh boy. Linda, what years or what were you doing out there?
Well, my first husband was a marine engineer in the crab business, and he took care of all the crab boats when they came into the processor, and we were employed by the processor.
Wow.
It was a huge.
That was a big deal.
Processor. There were like 400 people on it.
Wow.
So I always tell the story about when they caught a halibut in one of the nets, and it fed the whole ship for like 2 days. It was that big.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's where a lot of our COVID-19 problems are right now, is in the seafood, and it's just wild. They have, I think they have secret motels or hotels in town where when somebody, comes down with it or tests positive, they fly them out and shelter them there. It's kind of a mess in the seafood industry.
I was reading.
Not to mention everything else.
I was reading that they're actually done a really good job of keeping the seafood industry out of the regular towns. Like Dutch Harbor doesn't have a real bad COVID problem, but many of the boats, the seafood industry out of Dutch Harbor is suffering from infections running rampant through their ships. So they've done a good job of isolating it from the population, which is probably only possible in a place like Alaska.
Well, except they do bring them into town and put them up in motels, and I don't think they seal the doors, so who knows?
Yeah, but they put real restrictions on the seafood industry where they have to. You still have a 2-week quarantine if you're going out. They're held up in very specific hotels. They do extensive testing. They test regularly. I'm sorry, Mom. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say,
Judy,
I was misleading when I.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I missaid it when I said secret hotels. That they aren't really trying to hide it that much. It's just I haven't paid attention. Everybody's kind of, wide-eyed and spooked a bit, and Anchorage anyway, because we know we're going to take off. Everybody's waiting for us to take off. We don't know if we've taken off, with the COVID. It's really strange feelings here, but we're all wearing masks pretty much.
Yeah, the mask thing has definitely proved itself. It doesn't seem to be a debate anymore. I just want to get back to club topics. One last topic that I'd like to leave with you guys. AT&T cell phone users. Show of hands. Is there anybody using AT&T cell phones?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so AT&T has a message going around telling you your phone's going to stop working.
I've not gotten that message.
Well, and this is the reason I want to mention it, because you may. And it's very misleading in a very typical AT&T fashion.
Actually, it says 6, right?
Say that again?
Doesn't it say if it's a 6?
Well, let me get to the gist of this, because what they're referring to is 3G phone technologies going away. So if you have a phone that is using 3G cell networks on AT&T, that phone is going to stop working by 2022. So the whole thing is misleading, because most of the phones that we have support 4G to begin with. So you would not be at any concern that your phone wouldn't work, because you support both 3G and 4G. And this is a 3-year heads up. So what they're really doing is they're trying to scare you into buying a new phone. And I just wanted to end the meeting on that, in case because these emails and these messages, they're starting to come out. And you should not worry about it, regardless of the phone model you have. You've got 3 years to worry about this problem. There's no reason to be worrying about it right now. But AT&T's got to sell phones. They definitely have to sell phones. And they want to know that they're going to turn off the 3G network in 2022. That's definitely going to happen. They're going to switch to 4G and 5G, and that will be it. But if you...
Scott, how would I know by looking at my device info if I was capable of 3G, 4G, or whatever?
I'd probably be just easier to look up your device. I can. Do you know what model iPhone you have?
6S.
6S. So I think isn't the 6S a 4G device? I'm gonna look it up right now.
How would I know?
I'm gonna look it up right now. Hold on a second. Or I think I am.
So the other AT&T is that my service is so poor here in Colorado, in my particular neighborhood, that I'm thinking of switching to T-Mobile. Anybody use T-Mobile? No.
But T-Mobile is Sprint now, isn't it? I mean,
yes,
so that's a large network of options. I wouldn't be scared of switching to T-Mobile. And I know folks down here that are like Mexican residents, and they have an American cell phone from the States, the T-Mobile, and they're very happy using it down here.
Right. And I don't know about Verizon. I mean, my other option would be Verizon, but I'm thinking T-Mobile right now. So who knows?
It looks like
Verizon is really difficult in San Carlos because Verizon doesn't have a SIM cards.
Oh.
Well, some Verizon devices do. Some Verizon devices do have SIM cards.
Some do, but I went over there to try and get on their network with my cell phone that I've been using, and they wouldn't take it.
No, they won't, because they've got their own version of LTE, their own version of 4G, and that's not SIM based. In fact, when you get a device that supports Verizon and you want to take it abroad, they give you a SIM card, and that allows you to get on 3G networks, not 4G networks. And I'm looking, and the iPhone 6 and 6S both support 4G. So I suspect they would continue to work after this AT&T switchover. I'll do some more research on the AT&T just so I sound more intelligent when I'm talking about it. But I just wanted to throw that out there. Regardless of how it all shakes out, you've got almost 3 years before it's a problem. It's really disappointing that they would be, I mean, it's a fear tactic. It really is. They're just trying to scare you into buying new phones right now.
Or they're proactive.
Sure, it's perspective.
Sure.
It's, I mean, if I was in the boardroom, it would be proactive.
That's right.
But I'm trying to circumvent bad information out there. So if you get a message, realize what it is. If somebody asks you about the message, you know what it is. It's just AT&T trying to sell phones almost 3 years too soon. If they sell it to you now, then they don't have to give deep discounts to you when you have to change phones.
Or in 3 years, you have to get a new phone too. So they've sold two.
But you know what's going to happen is if they don't do this, people are going to show up in their offices going, hey, what happened? My phone doesn't work. And they're going to have a discounted phone there ready for you, or they're going to have an irate customer. So the way to circumvent that is to start pushing this information out as quickly as possible. So nobody's surprised when their phone stops working. Anyway.
Have a good week.
You too. You guys have a great week. I can't wait to talk to you next week.
Next week.
Next week.
Yeah, it's good to see all you guys. Bye.
Until then, tech on, everybody. Have good experiences with technology and stay safe and healthy. Wear a mask.
Do we have to do it on the oh, this? No.
We should have a meeting where everybody shows up in masks. Just for the picture, for the photo op.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Scott.
Hey, do you?
People are leaving you, honey.
Yeah, people are leaving. I'm gonna shut this down, and how should we? Well, maybe we can just stay on this, huh? Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second to say goodbye here, and we'll continue our conversation. Fred, you're welcome to stay in the conversation. Fred's a Mac guy too, so maybe he's interested in what we try and do with your computer.
Maybe he has some ideas.
Yeah. Well, this has been the San Carlos Computer Club, and I am Scott Stimpson with International Computer Solutions. If you're looking for computer solutions anywhere on the internet, I'd appreciate it if you'd get a hold of me, Scott at internationalcs.net. And if you're interested in anything that the Computer Club does, you can find all that stuff at scclub.org. That's scclub.org. You can look for that on the internet. We've got a blog. We've got a Facebook page. You can look for us on Twitter. It's at SCC Club. Until next week, everybody, tech on.
All right.
All right. Let's shut this down. Shut this down.